Hey guys, welcome to another Memorizing Latin Endings video. This is from Visual Latin 1, Lesson 25, and today we're talking about third declension I stem nouns. Let's jump in. First, let's start with the third declension endings. You remember from a previous video, the endings are is, e, em, e, es, ibus, es, ibus. Alright, let's start with what we know and move to what we don't know. So if we're talking about third declension I stem nouns, I want you to watch closely and see what the difference is. Right? You ready? Okay. Third declension I stem nouns will have an I in the genitive plural. Ium. Honestly, I think it's a little silly that there's a whole category called third declension I stem nouns. It's a tiny spelling change, and it makes little difference. And if you're reading from Latin into English, you won't even slow down. Let's look at an example. Let's look at an example of a third declension I stem noun. Let's take, let's take ovis, which means sheep. Now, before we go any further, I do want to point out that often in the nominative, third declension I stem nouns will end with is, just like they do in the genitive. Not always, but often. So ovis means sheep, and then we have ovis, which means of the sheep. If we're giving the sheep something, we're giving the sheep some water, ovi. If we see a sheep, ovem, video ovem, I see a sheep. If there's wool on the sheep, in ove, lana in ove est, there's wool on the sheep. What about if there's more than one sheep? Well, in English we say sheep for one sheep and sheep for more than one sheep. In Latin the spelling does change. It becomes oves. Of the plural sheep, ovium, there's that I right there. Makes it I stem. To the sheep, we're giving all the sheep some water, ovibus. We see all the sheep in the field, oves. And all the sheep have wool on them, or there is wool on all the sheep, ovibus. Okay, so those are third declension I stem nouns. We're going to look at a list of third declension I stem nouns. But before we go on, I want to talk to you about a group of third declension I stem nouns that are called the third declension I stem neuter nouns. Everything remains the same, okay? Everything remains the same, except in the nominative and accusative, of course. So, let's take mare, which means the sea. That's a third declension I stem neuter noun. So we have mare, and of course, as I told you before, whatever happens in the nominative with a neuter noun happens in the accusative. So we have mare mare, okay? And then when we're talking, when we want to say of the sea, maris, no change here. We still have that is ending. If we want to give something to the sea, mari, no change there. We still have that I ending. There is a change here in the ablative, at least with mare. Some words do this, some don't. But in the ablative singular, mare becomes mari, so in the sea would be mari. Okay, the seas, Maria. Alright, that's the seas. Now remember, what happens in the accusative happens in the nominative, or vice versa. So we can put Maria down here too. Maria. The seas. Alright, so our real changes are here in the nominative and the accusative. And then there's a change here in the ablative singular as well. Let's look at the genitive. How would you say of the seas? Marium. No change there, just like what we saw in ovium. To the seas, maribus. No change there. In the seas, maribus. Oops. Again, I want to remind you guys, if you have memorized the third declension endings, is, em, es, ibus, es, ibus, you have already memorized all of the third declension. Everything after that is just variation. Okay, third declension I stem nouns and third declension I stem neuter nouns, just a small spelling change, no big deal. Here's some examples of some third declension I stem nouns. Here we have navis, and you can see is in the nominative case. In the genitive, navis means of the ship. Navis means ship. From navis we get navy, naval, and nave. I find this one interesting. The nave of a church. Picture a medieval church in Europe. If you go into a medieval church, the nave is that long corridor where the congregation sits, and if you look up at the top, it looks like the inside of the bottom of a ship, and that's where the word nave came from. Mons, montis is an I stem noun. Notice that there is no is here in the nominative, as I told you. This is a general rule, but not a universal rule. It doesn't affect every noun. So mons montis means mountain. Well, mons means mountain. Montis means of the mountain. To find the root word, you drop the is. So mont is the root word. From mons montis we get montaña in Spanish, which is the name of a state in the United States, Montana, and as you can guess, it's filled with mountains. We also get mont, or mount, like Mount St. Helens, or mont in French, like Mont Blanc, which is spelled this way. Okay, nox means night, another third declension I stem noun. To find the root word, you drop the is ending, so the root word is noct. This means night. Noctis means of the night. This is where we get nocturnal. Creatures that are nocturnal stay up at night. And interesting play on words in the Harry Potter series. Harry goes down Knockturn Alley at one point, and J.K. Rowling spelled it nocturne, using the English terms there, knock and turn, but it's actually a play on words harkening back to the old Latin root nocturnal, or the English word that comes from the Latin root, and the word is nocturnal. Pons, pontis, pons means bridge, pontis means of the bridge, the root word is pont, of course it means bridge, and this is where we get things like Pont de Gare in France, which is the famous aqueduct that the Romans built. You can see pont right there, it means bridge. Vallis, vallis means valley, and that's where we get words like vale and of course valley. English has been dramatically affected by Greek and Latin, and if you'd like to learn more about that, go visit my website, DwaneThomas.com. If you'd like to see more videos like this, support me just by subscribing below, letting me know you're there, letting me know you're interested. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a great day.